All right, welcome in everybody. We're about to get started with the Connected versus Community Showcase. Hope you all are ready to play some games. Welcome in Shock, RB Lopes, Nathan, oh god, I'm going to butcher all these names, Mellybub, Garbaggy, I will not butcher Garbaggy, Mac and Cheesy, hello, and yeah, we're about to get started. If you are in Group 1, I just pinged you in the Discord, hop on in and we'll get going here. We have 4 groups. I thought we'd have a lower turnout due to being the Easter weekend, but I am proven incorrect. We already have 4 groups ready to go here. And if we have any stragglers, maybe we'll mix them into the existing groups. But yeah, we already have a packed showcase here. And hope you're all doing well. Let's get myself on the screen here. Yes, I am Austin. That is me. That's my name. I work with Enhance. And we got a long showcase ahead of us. So, yeah, so leave Tight, Nachito, Pac-Man, aka Jason, and Jabberbox. Make your way to the lobby if you're listening. Looks like some of you are hopping in here now. And hope you all are ready for... Some of you have a long weekend. Here in the U.S., today is not a federal holiday. I know it's a federal holiday. It's a holiday in Canada. Probably maybe elsewhere in the world. But yes, I'm working hard today. As you can see, working hard by watching people play Tetris. Anyone have any fun weekend plans? Any games they've been playing? Any Tetris achievements? Feel free to share while we get this first group set up here. Nachito says, it's going to take me a bit to get ready. Can I play the next game instead? Yeah, we could always fill somebody in on Group 1 here. And or add an AI. Unable to join. I think some other people were able to join. Pac-Man. You're on spring break? Oh, it's a holiday in the UK. Got it. I wish we had a holiday here. Yes, if you are looking to participate, whether it's in tonight's community showcase or in general, be sure to head to the Enhance Discord at discord.gg/enhance. And you know what? Let's just plug it in the Twitch chat here real quick and on YouTube. Yes. And keep up to date on any community events surrounding Tetris Effect Connected or other enhanced titles. If we have any Res Infinite fans, Luminous, Remastered, or what's our other game? Humanity. All right. I believe. Let's see. We do not have everyone in here. Pac-Man and let's see, who's missing? You two are in here. Is Nachito said one more game. Is Jabberbox around? I don't know if Jabberbox is around. Maybe Mellybub, we can maybe fit into this first group here if you are around. I see you just joined the Discord. Yeah, Mellybub, just let us know your general SR. If you're not sure, we can probably just hop you and put you into this group 1 here. And then we'll get started. Yeah, Connected Versus can be hard to find because it's only available on Saturday. So if you haven't played on the Saturday event, Mellybub, just let us know. And oh, Jabberbox is on the way. Perfect. Yeah, either Jason or Tight, if you could unready so that we can get rid of these CPU slots so the other players can hop in, that would be excellent. Thank you, thank you. Perfect. All right, 2 seconds from Jabberbox. Is the Garbaggy entourage in here tonight? All right, first group taking a second here, but once we get going here, hopefully we can speed run. We usually give each group about 20-25 minutes is what it comes down to, especially with 4 groups. So either you'll have one massive epic match or 1 to 3 quick matches here, depending on the boss. All right, first time in. Always happy to have first time participants. How'd you see the event? Through the Discord or on PS News, Steam News? I think we are live on the Steam store right now, actually. We should be. Sometimes Steam is finicky here. Let me see. Yeah, it says I am. But yeah, Mellybub, just let us know your SR, and we'll either get started or throw you in here. Yeah, Fairhawks, let's just add Mellybub in here. Oh, no problem. Yeah, we post. I think it's good to have a regular post, community event post on Steam, right? Because we get new players every week, so happy to bring in new players on the regular here. But yeah, we have people that show up to these every week, so very appreciated. But yeah, Mellybub, if you could join that code. Just when you head to the multiplayer area, press space if you're using a keyboard. It should show you the button glyph on the bottom to join a room and put in the room code. Oh, you are in here. Perfect. Yeah, then when you all ready up. Good luck, have fun. And let's get this started. Let's talk Tetris. Connected versus 3v1 action. It's going to be fun. Jabberbox deciding on the boss here. Ooh, rocking area 1. Pisces. Grass pelt, there's more than one way to do it, depending on the plugin you use, because OBS is open source in the name. Yeah. But the easy answer is restream.io. But of course, the more places you broadcast, say you're trying to do separate streams on Twitch, for example, for like different languages, you might want some other plugins. All right. Oh, also, if you're trying to simul stream in vertical format and horizontal format, there's some different plugins for that as well. Okay, so yeah, this first zone charge is usually pretty quick, just a couple Tetrises from each player. Even less than that, can trigger that first zone. But the longer the game goes on, the harder it is to get that zone charge. The same goes for the boss. So the first attacks send very quickly, but they're lower powered attacks. And the longer the game goes on, the more powerful the boss's attacks will become as well. the team is working together here, doing a pretty good job. Started fairly low on the board, so we'll see if they can get, say, above 15 lines here. Once either Tate or Tight, I'm saying tie because I see TAI. Once they, so they were first to fill up the middle here, right? So can begin to throw blocks to the left or right depending on who needs to help the most. And those purple magic Minos can fix up any errors. So if you see some holes in the matrix under, so if you put the purple magic Mino over an area that has some errors in the board, right, you can clean that up. And Jason might do it. No, decides to fill that in. So we've got a 10 attack, 53 Octorus. Not going to send anything to Jabberbox due to Jabberbox putting on pretty killer defense. So yeah, it can be tricky to build from the bottom as the team. But I think naturally when the boss sends more intense attacks, the team should have some ammunition at the ready because they'll be entering zone a little bit higher on the board, ideally. So we'll see if they can get a stronger attack coming up here. Jabberbox throwing on some pressure here, though. Does have that T-spin knowledge there, as we saw with that T-spin double. T-spins are slightly less powerful in connected versus, but still very efficient if you can manage to mix them in, despite the one-piece preview, where it can be a little harder to set up patterns that incorporate T-spin stacks, or T-spins. You are fuming? Well, I want to see your contrary points. Argue with me in the chat. Feel free to talk metagame. Oh, yeah, and of course, if you have any, whether it's Ferox will answer your questions, but if you have any questions in particular, because Connected Versus, there's a lot of little things happening, as it is a fairly hectic game mode, please ask in the chat, and we'll try to elaborate. But yeah, the metagame's going to depend on the boss, right? As each boss will send unique attacks to the team. I definitely will elaborate on optimal zone play from the team. Typically, you want to have an empty row from the team when you enter zone, as the farther down you are when zone starts. So say you enter the team zone with 0 lines cleared, that is optimal. However, because of the skill level here, and they're a little slower to upstack, maybe you would want to start a little higher, at least on 2 of the boards, just so that you can fill it in a bit quicker. Either way, Jabberbox was a pretty strong boss in that scenario, so maybe we can mix up. One of the team members can hop on boss, and Jabberbox can play on the team. Unless Jabberbox wants, if you guys want to rematch, that is A-okay with me. All right, rematch it is. Run it back. Yeah, Jabberbox had a really clean round that time, especially with that first defense. Still in DVR saying top tip for boss is don't immediately clear a line after sending in an attack. Oh, right. Yeah, especially if you're a fast player, don't overdo it. And also, there's a time where you don't want to send anything right after the team zone ends, right? There's like a moment where your attack can be rendered useless because it's not charging or sending. Kind of want to like stall for a second until the music kicks in following that team zone. But all right, the team's back at it here. Generally, I recommend to stay in your lane in this phase just so you can move around quicker. And it's a little bit easier on you, right? You don't have to really think about other players' stacks. Just focus on your stack so you can move a little swiftly and get that line bonus until you are towards the top in your area. Unless, of course, somebody's in a dire situation and could use the help of a magic Mino or something like that. Some extra lung bars. But the team's already doing a better job than their previous run here. Jabberbox set up for a really clean 0-9 well, so should be able to stack up some defense orbs that you see swirling the avatar, the fish avatar, aka Pisces, the Zodiac. All right, so we got a 1374 attack, 25. Yeah, so they are on the board here. Sense of pressure towards Jabberbox. 25 lines stronger than their first zone attack, or from the first game. Any tips for Pisces? Pisces? I mean, it can be a little unpredictable because of the pop in, pop out, right? Generally, just kind of... And Ferox, feel free to add to this. But how I would approach it would be to, for one, and this goes for any boss, I guess, throw speed at it a little bit. Don't, like, overthink it too much. If you have, like, some pop in, you can do some fancy things with pop in, but... just like focus on the top of the board, create line skim, stuff like that, depending on your skill level. Sometimes you also just want to focus on getting Tetrises and T-spins, depending on the situation. But really, Pisces is one of the strongest bosses in the game, due to the pressure it can put on with that pop in and pop out. And the biggest reason it's strong, as with any Area 1 boss, is the soft drop only is very limiting to our high-level players, as it's forces players to slow down. And you guys know how fast our top players are. Don't overstack for sure, yeah. If you overstack with pop in and pop out, so say you're stacking for double Tetris, and that pop-in kicks in, right? It can, like, entirely mess up your well, and if there's any quick follow-up attack, it might be your doom is going to be coming a lot sooner than later. Impending doom. Shout out to Doom. Great game. Okay. Pretty nice stack in the center here, so now Tight can begin to help with the left and right stacks here. Fill those in a bit quicker. Nice, we got an Octorus 69 attack, sending 5 lines towards Jabberbox. If you can see that top line is a little more gray, that means it's going to clear quicker than the, since the opacity, or however you want to put it is less white, that means it's going to be cleared quicker. So like 1 send from Jabberbox should clear that up. Yeah, there we go. I think that was like only a double cleared that up. Nice clean stack from our center team player. Meanwhile, Pac-Man and Mellybub on the left here have a little bit to work through. despite that, actually are contributing more zone charge and getting back into that team attack sooner than later. This round is certainly a lot closer than the first round, so the team is proving their worth here against Jabberbox. Ooh, Mellibub, I don't know if that was a miss on that long bar, but definitely wants to just go for the Tetris here. So this is like a case of overstacking, right? So we'll see if that... Actually, it's kind of funny, the rain cleared lines there. But a bad pop-in could really put this into turmoil, right? So you got to be careful to overstack. As satisfying as it is to go for some clean Tetris wheels, and even the pop out there, so now you can't clear that line over the Tetris wheel, and things are turning awry quickly. So pretty much when you have a Tetris ready, you have a long bar, take the Tetris. But that comes with a lot of practice. So now it's up to Pac-Man, aka Jason here, to clutch it out. The team can revive. It looks like they're both hitting it. So if you tap rotate when that circle hits the center, you can revive quicker. And if the teammate sends some T-spins or Tetrises, that'll allow them... That also fills in their revival gauge, so they'll revive a little bit quicker if you get a Tetris or T-spin. That includes T-spin singles and or triples. Ooh, that's a rough pop-in for Jason. I think Jason just needs to keep their cool, as it's looking like Tate is going to revive. And if they revive and get a 3-player zone here, it's going to be really strong, because they should be near the bottom of their board, meaning their attack will not be dampened going into that zone phase. Ooh, that bump up's going to be rough. So Jason... Ooh, yeah, that was really rough. Not going to be able to survive. We'll see. There is a chance they can resurrect before the zone starts. Otherwise, Tight and Mellibub are going to have to hit a big 2-player zone, which is possible, but it requires a lot of speed. Ooh, oh, that's a good idea. All right, so we're gonna go for this big 2-player zone. It should be fairly strong here. They're actually like got a lot of stack. One thing is wait to clear those Tetrises until you enter that zone, because you're gonna charge that meter quicker. So ideally, you're gonna have like an open row and stacked up, going into the zone. Right when you right when you have that gauge fully charged, that's when you want to overstack with the Tetris wheel. That comes with experience and practice. We'll see if this team... Oh, why did that end so early? Was it just the meter depleted quicker, given how late the game is going, I guess? Seems like it ended pretty quick there. And or 2-player zone might be quicker. Yeah, rigged match. Either way, this board for Mellibub is looking all right. Found a clever spin there, and a Tetris should help to get Jason back into the game. Lower player count and a later zone. Okay. I guess I never really realized that the lower player count makes the zone into sooner as well. That makes sense because there's less space to fill. All right, so we got Jason back in the game here. Also, while this match is finishing up here, Group 2, be ready to play. Maybe Ferox if you want to give an early ping here, so we'd have to wait too long. But this is not over. If the team can get it together and get a big 3-player zone, which is still possible, it could send a lot of pressure towards Jabberbox. But the ball is certainly in the boss's court right now, as only one player... Ooh, what was that? What a board for Jason here. For super high columns, not what you want to see. And the bump up, and the pop in. But yeah, the boss's attacks are stronger at this point too, so... It's going to take quite a run here from the team. But Jason is not... the boss is not being nice to Jason there. And that is GG. That was a nice round. A much better game than round 1. So the team brought it together there a little bit. Jabberbox was on their A game, as you see with the rank. So nicely played. But thank you all for kicking off our showcase tonight. We're going to hop into group number 2. And we had some new players in here. So Mellybub and Itzian Tate, thanks for playing. And Jason is back for their second week, or Pac-Man. Good stuff, good stuff. So group 2, be ready to play. I don't know if you were pinged on Discord yet. Let's see. So Mac and Cheesy, Nathan, Shock, and Garbaggy. Hop in the lobby. Oh, I see. Sorry, I don't always see your DMs there. Yeah, since Nachito missed group 1, we can swap Nachito into a game for group 2, maybe on the team side, since they'll be a little lower ranked. If that makes sense. If Nachito, if you're listening, maybe we can get you in a group here. Okay. I think you have the code wrong there, Mac and Cheesy. Alternate spelling of Tate. Thank you, thank you. Every time I kept saying your name, I'm like, is it Tight or Tate? Got it, got it. I feel like I see T-A-I a lot. If it was like a play on words or something. Okay, so Nathan's in here, Garbaggy, Mac and Cheesy. Then Nachito or Shock can hop in for this game. Nachito, you're already in here if you want to hop in. You can even put on a buff +1, as you are the lower ranked player, I think. Up to you. Trying to get out. Oh, of the lobby? You should be able to just back out or hit escape on your keyboard, depending on your controller. Unless some of their shenanigans are going on. Yeah, Nachito, if you're ready to play, we'll get you in this first game. Looking at the teams, I think this should be fair. Just make sure you hop into a player slot rather than a spectator slot. Good luck, Group 2. That's what I like to see. All right. When you all are ready, I'm ready. Good luck. Have fun. Looking like we're going to have a Tetramidian choice from Nate. Oh, actually, let's see. We have an Aquarius choice. Okay. Cool. So this will have the Squeeze Blitz, is the unique blitz here on display from the boss, where you cannot stack in the left or right columns. And the stronger that gets, I believe there's it's even more stringent. I'm going to have less room to stack. And it's deceivingly strong because if you overstack in the center, combined with the high stakes blitz from the Area 4 as well, your board can really go awry really quickly. So definitely want to be careful not to overstack in the center and stack on the left and right when possible. Goat Baggy is at it. Too bad we don't have a goat avatar. All right. Oh, weird. I'm not sure why you got... you're being held hostage in our lobby. Not sure why that was happening. Ooh, Nathan with a rough board here. Hopefully they can bring this down. As the team is doing a pretty good job on zone. I'm going to want to bring down these. Uh-oh, this might be it. Yeah. Nathan running into a lot of misdrops there. We can run this one back. That was pretty quick. Happens to the best of us. Oh, Nachito crushing it there. SS. So maybe underrated, actually. Feel free to run it back, or we could switch up the teams. You guys can do one more. We'll get Shotgun next game. So we'll see if Nathan can keep it nice and clean here. I think Nathan can keep up speed-wise. Just a little bit of the self-sabotage with the with the misdrops there. Just probably just want to take their time, keep it nice and clean. All right, already sending some attacks towards the team there. Looking like they should still be able to stack from the bottom. I would typically advise that one player keeps an open well to the bottom. As we saw that they started that zone with 2 lines. Ideally, you start the zone with 0 lines cleared, as it will strengthen your attack the higher you get up. So if one of the teammates, or if you see if you see that both of your teammates are not able to keep an open well, then try your best to leave your well open. Even when you are like just speed placing pieces down, just keep one of the wells open. On the flip side, if you are aware of your teammate's status, and say one of them has an open well and you do not really have an accessible well going into the zone, you can just kind of throw your pieces everywhere like we saw. If you really want to get the most out of your first team zone, which is pretty important. All right, well, Nathan has a much stronger defense here. Still a lot of pressure. I would just advise Nathan to slow down slightly. I think, yeah, just make sure your own mistakes aren't hindering you. At the same time, this is a pretty strong team, so I understand maybe trying to play fast. As I do that against people that are much better than me, I throw speed at it and hope for the best. Shout out to Siake Gohan, OSW, Jaden, and Fam. All right, so Nathan is on the attack. Because we have gone past that first zone into the later phase here, Nathan will have more time to send attacks towards the team. One nice thing to do when you are on Aquarius is during squeeze, that's a good time to enter defense, unless you're really trying to apply a lot of pressure, right? And there we go. We see Nathan entering that defense during squeeze because the team is naturally going to be playing slower during this, so you don't want to like override that attack when the team is being throttled slightly. Then once squeeze ends, yeah, now's a good time to send an attack, maybe right after. So you could always charge an attack, then swap to defense so that you can time that attack perfectly, if that makes sense. Either way, Garbaggy feeling the pressure of that squeeze, possibly using that Garbaggy goat-like speed during squeeze, and found the not unintentional, but the secret power of Aquarius there. It's fun to stack during squeeze, but then you find yourself with a high center. You're like, oh my god, that snuck up on me. But back in Cheesy, not Cheeto. Looking for a quick two-player zone here. So far, so good. Nathan keeping it nice and clean. Tetris ready. Ooh, ran into a rough misdrop there. But overall, playing a lot cleaner than we saw in that first round. Does have a high center here. Okay, I was a little worried. So Nathan is clear and a good position here, actually, for this stage of the game to put on pressure. Because only two players are up, shouldn't be too stressed out about the team gauge charging that quickly. And gets an early squeeze here to maybe bring it down a bit. So nicely done. Maybe Garbaggy is just big-brained and is doing what is known as death cycling, knowing that the team might be struggling at this phase of the game, and is going to come back to clutch it out. Sometimes you can top out a little sooner in the maybe if there's like if it's inevitable that your team's going to be topping out in the future. You could have the foresight and try to death cycle, but in doing so, you tend to lower the charge of your gauge, right? So it's a risk reward. Ooh, Mac and Cheesy hit with that high stakes right in the middle there. Is going to top out. But now we have Garbaggy at the very bottom of the board. Can try to help revive Mac and Cheesy with some Tetrises or T-spins here. See how the squeeze plays out. Okay, has that long bar. There we go. Big Tetris from Garbaggy. And lo and behold, Garbaggy's the only one alive here. So maybe that top out was a blessing in disguise. Nathan's just putting on the pressure. I like it. But we'll see if it pays off here. As we are 3/4 of the way, and Nathan has mostly been on the attack. I'm kind of looking to maybe get the kill in this this third round of attacks against the team. But hey, look at this. All 3 teammates are up. The Cheeto's at the very bottom. This is looking really good for our team now. But it's never over till it's over. Let's see if Nathan can accrue a massive defense here. And the attack will be dampened just slightly. Oh, let's see. Actually, Nachito's stacking over that open well, so it's going to be 4 lines. So 4 lines of a dampened attack there. Nathan's going to have to score big, get some Tetrises here. It's a nice down stack. Definitely going to want to be low to the board as well. So down stacking is also important. Pretty much a tough situation all around for Nathan. But it is defendable. However, this board is looking tricky. Nathan throwing some speed at it, maybe knowing the situation. And in doing so, also... Ooh, finds a nice spin there, actually. But messing up the board there. I think this is going to be lights out, yeah. And nice... That was a nice game. We got some kills there from Nathan. And Garbaggy, that early top out actually ended up kind of helping. Was helpful in bringing back the team there to get the kill. So GG. Let's swap in Shock here for Nachito. Thanks for playing, Nachito. Who I don't know if you've played in a showcase before, so happy to have you. If you have played, not too many, right? Rocking my Tetris Effect merch today, by the way. It's Wear My Tetris Merch Friday. Tetris Merch Friday. Alrighty. So we'll get Shock in here. And by the way, we might already be full. We're not going to do a 5th group. So unless we mix in players into our existing groups, just as an FYI. All right. So Shock's back in here. But yeah, Mac and Cheesy, Garbaggy, and Nathan, if you want to play another round. Oh, wait, sorry. Maybe I wasn't reading, I wasn't back reading Discord. If there's somebody else we want to get in here, if someone else wants to swap out, that would be appreciated. I see TiVo maybe. TiVo, if you're around. Ferox, I'll let you handle that. Yeah, thank you, Garbaggy. I was a little delayed there. I was just entrenched in... I was fully immersed in your game there. That I was ignoring Discord. Thank you, Garbaggy, for sitting one out. Then if you're hanging around and we need to fill in later for another group, we can throw you in there, Garbaggy. Hey, Ferox. That is not the case. I would never ignore one of my enhanced moderators, alright? Unfortunately, okay, so I have 2 eyeballs. I can't, like, I don't know if you guys have tried, but you can't really like look at two monitors in separate directions. Maybe I should work on that. I should work on that. Welcome in, Got Yo Sauce. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you signed up for tonight, if you're in a group later. I think I saw your... Did you DM me earlier? I don't know if I responded or not, but nice job on your T-spin triple tower. All right, looks like everyone is in here. Good luck, have fun. Ooh, we have a policy as a spectator. Got a full 8-player lobby as advertised. All right, so Nathan is sticking with the Aquarius here. Feeling the boss. It's going to be our Group 2 boss. And we got Tivo swapping in for Garbaggy. And Shock swapping in for Nachito. Tivo and Shock, some regulars of the community showcase. And looking like we're going to have a pretty good start from our team here. Tivo filling out the center, meaning they'll likely be able to help out their teammates sooner than later. Does have this long bar dependency poking, and does fill that in. Shock with a pristine board here, using that Magic Mino very nicely. Magic Mino is kind of a catch-all. You kind of stack in any way you want, knowing that you can use a Magic Mino to clean it up later on if you want to focus on speed. There we go, nice Magic Mino used for Mac and Cheesy as well. Alright, so big 115 attack, Deca Hexatris. Yeah, that's a huge attack, sending Nathan about halfway up the board. But Nathan might be warmed up by now. We'll see if we can see some big boss attacks and defenses here. Cleaning up the board very nicely already. Defending during the squeeze splits, where the teammates or the team's going to be slowed down a little bit as they can't stack everywhere on the board. Very nice sequence there from Nathan, swapping to attack, just following the ending of the squeeze splits. All right, Tivo finds a nice triple to bring the board down a little bit. Does have this Tetris will. I guess ideally you're going to want a long bar dependency in the center, as it will be accessible throughout the early on squeeze splits. Things are getting a little high for Tivo. We'll see if they can handle this upcoming attack. Ooh, just one row too high there for Tivo. But should be able to get back into the action sooner than later. Okay, so Shock at the very bottom of the board. Okay, they do have this open well. So Shock handling that boss sequence very nicely. However, it's going to be a little slower due to how clean their board was. So we'll see if we can stack quickly here and get some kind of attack. But Nathan is in a position now to defend. However, we see some misdrops from Nathan, so we'll see if Nathan can clean this up. Okay, Nathan only receiving a few rows there, thankfully, and does live to see another day. Now things are looking pretty good for Nathan. Just wanting to bring this down, probably wants to get into a more comfortable position before sending any attacks. Ooh, kind of a rough placement there. Is Tetris ready? Don't see a long bar just yet, though. It's one too late. I would just advise, take your time here. Oh no! He misdrops the T piece. That was unfortunate. But TiVo and Shock take the round. Yeah, feeling the pressure. I appreciate trying to play quickly, but sometimes I can also be playing quickly, and the misdrops can be your detriment as well. But we'll call it there for group number 2. Happy we were able to get TiVo in there. TiVo and Shock. And GG's. How are we on time? We could always get TiVo and Shock into another game. It is already an hour in. I think we'll call it there for now. Hey TiVo, a dub's a dub. Baron, RNA, Stolen DVR, and Policy are up next. If you guys want to make your way to the lobby. And if you are in the lobby, if you can make your way out, because I think we are fairly full. Only have so many spectator slots. Shock, maybe if somebody here in group 3 isn't around, we can get you in here. If that works for you. Okay. So Baron, RNA, Stolen DVR, Policy, make your way here. Policy is in here. I believe that's RNA. DNA on here. Yeah, looks like Ferox pinged you. So we're just looking for Baron and Stolen DVR. Then Aiken as well. I think if Aiken's around and wants to play. But yeah, Shock, we'll get you in here if someone doesn't show up here. And so far, no one's showing up, but we did just ping them, so we'll give it a moment. But yeah, if anyone is just tuning in for the first time or is a new player to the scene, do not be shy. These showcases are open to players of all skill levels. So be sure to join the Discord at discord.gg/enhance and try to get you in, whether it's tonight. I think tonight is a little booked already, but yeah, we'll be sure to get you in to a future showcase. Typically, early bird gets a worm, so just be around on that Friday and sign up sooner than later. And of course, if we can get stragglers in, we try. Oh, looks like we have a full lobby. So when you all are ready, I'm ready. Good luck, have fun. Oh, somebody left right when the game started. Maybe a spectator, so we're going to remake that. Ooh, this is a good room code. Something about it, kind of pleasant to look at there. Oh, your game froze. Okay. Did I? The other players are in here. RNA. Double check the room code. Does defense do anything when the board is clear? No. I believe you can't even switch to defense when the board is clear. That would be interesting, though, if it did somehow. Okay, I'm ready when you are ready. Good luck, have fun, everybody. All right. Team Baron Policy Alucard versus Stolen DVR. Let's do this. Following a load. Yes, insane gameplay so far. Somebody having trouble loading in, most likely. As we stand here in the void as a community. This is how space really looks. Let's actually, no, I think if you're in the vacuum of space, okay. I guess you would see stars better, so disregard that. All right. All right, so the team moving pretty quick there. Find their self into the first zone. And rocking the Area 2 music. Change of pace, change of vibes. As Stolen DVR is playing Libra. With the measure there, the scale. Which sends hard blocks, which require 2 clears in order to get rid of the blocks. So it's going to mess up your board a little bit. Generally, just throw yourself at it, throw your speed at it, and also try not to stack the hard blocks vertically, as it'll be more efficient if you lay your hard blocks horizontally. So if you get a long bar, try not to place it vertically, place it horizontally. This would be easier to clear. You can clear it in 1 line versus 4 lines. All right, so bump up. And yeah, this is a fairly aggressive boss. It's a bit different. There's not too much that there's not much that is going to be throttling the speed of the player, right? so the player isn't going to have anything limiting their speed, which means you just got to play quickly through these blitzes, because the blitzes are strong. Can really mess up your board. This is a boss that I feel like can be good to go all in on if you're just trying to like play super aggressive, especially when you get later into the game. Early on, though, I would not advise going too all in. Maybe try to play a little more defensive, charge up those attacks, and then go for the kill. But of course, it's a case-by-case situation. The more experience, the more wisdom you have, then you can decide when to play aggressive, when to play safe. I think Libra, it's hard to make that balance between attacks and defense, as we see from the avatar. You need perfect balance. All right. Good job from Stolen DVR to bring that down. Right when zone is about to end here from the team. Ooh, gets a little tuck. Okay. Lives to see another day. Now, Stolen DVR is going to be sending some attacks here. However, it's going to take a little bit longer because it's hard to stack for a Tetris well at this height. So this is a tricky situation. Does send some hardened blocks right away. It's going to decide to play aggressive here. I commend that. It's just very hard to do, given the height. Yeah, look at this misdrop. One misdrop in. It might be over, actually. I don't think... yeah, that was a really rough misdrop. That's part of the risk of playing aggressive at that height, right? Which I understand. That's a strong team, and you're going to be like, okay, can I really afford not to play aggressive here? So it's a risk-reward if you want to bring it down 2 rows. We're all going to play another round there or switch out the boss. Okay. Stolen DVR is going to exit. So maybe you can swap a boss in. This game has fantastic music. Absolutely. It's a big draw for many people to the enhanced library as a whole. Synesthesia. All right, so we're going to get a boss swap here, it looks like. Stolen DVR still, but different boss choice. All right. And I think someone left the lobby at an inopportune time. So if you're spectating, either A, just don't spectate, or B, just try to leave right after your game's done. It's going to break our lobbies. Yeah, it was not Garbaggy. Garbaggy, I'm going to blame you. It's always Garbaggy. I might need to remake this lobby. And or reset my game real quick. Yeah, I'm just going to reset. Who knows if that game will actually execute. So bear with me one moment. But yeah, we have the full moon action tomorrow, as well as the weekend ritual. We don't have a voice hangout on the Discord. It is Easter weekend. But yeah, feel free to hang out on the Discord during that if you're looking to socialize a little bit in the Tetris Effect chat. And or want to try to snipe some players. Usually we have some people streaming to the Twitch category during full moon. Where we have special avatars available to unlock in any of the game modes. I still need to get the spider avatar. 100 ranked wins during full moon in score attack. room is remade, and if you are not in this group, try to refrain and just watch through Twitch. Grab your popcorn, grab a snack. As fun as it is to emote. The issue is if you leave at a certain time in the lobby, it can mess with it, as we have seen. All right. Ooh, that was really quick. Good job, everybody. All right. So still in DVR, making the swap to Taurus here. Taurus is a pretty strong boss. It has the giant blitz, so you're able to send giant pieces to the team. Area 1 in general can be a very strong area as a whole due to the soft drop only blitz, which is very limiting to our top level players that can play Tetris at the speed of light, right? So it's a great way to counteract the strength of this team, who is actually moving quite quickly, right? And Taurus, although there is counterplay with the giant pieces, you have to move pretty quickly to make use of those giant pieces before the follow-up blitz happens, because rain really messes up the placement of giant pieces, as you're going to have like an uneven board. You can kind of predict when the giant pieces are going to occur, and you can try to make a board that accommodates that. Whether it's a 4-wide well or something like that. I generally don't go for the 4-wide option. I just try to keep my board nice and level. Alright, so there's our first giant pieces. That was really good, nice. So that follow-up rain, for example, going to make not really a good placement there. Actually, Falsey fortunately had a decent placement for that S piece. Baron actually held the giant piece until the board was a little more ready. Policy finds a nice high-level skim for that long bar. Team doing a really good job. Charting really quickly, too. I'm not sure... Yeah, this is going to be really tough for stolen DVR. See if we can get a killer defense here. Really, it was that killer first zone that really put the team in a big advantage here. Doesn't really give stolen DVR as much wiggle room to be aggressive. And really nice handling of the giant pieces from the team as a whole there. You don't want to overthink that giant piece placement because of that follow-up brain, right? The team did a really good job just throwing it on the board, making use of it before rain popped in there. And this might be lights out there. Yeah, so really nicely played from the team, actually. Not that stolen DVR played roughly there or anything. I think it was the team did a very good job handling those giant pieces, actually. All right. GG. Let's try to mix Aiken in here. If someone's happy to sit out, that would be ideal. I think Aiken was spectating, so we can do a quick swap. And or if anyone wants to play boss or anyone different. Welcome in, Liam, Oliver. We got some new chatters in here. Happy to see you. Looks like Aiken's going to rock the boss here. Oh, we had a raid. Thanks for the raid, Johong. 727. Shout out. Were you playing some Tetris Effect? Appreciate it. Speed is the final barrier, not the first. Is that a Confucius quote? Very wise. Alright. So we got the Aquarius, popular boss here tonight, between Aiken and... Oh, who was playing Aquarius earlier? Nathan. Baron has a T-spin. Going for the Magic Mino. That looked goofy. That did not look normal. Magic Mino T-spins are... have some odd behavior properties, I suppose. This is a really clean zone from our team, though. Looking like almost a 19. To see one more. It was like either going to be an 18 or 20, given their chosen route there. Since a respectable attack towards Aiken. But it looks like Aiken is doing just fine here. We'll see if Aiken chooses to defend or play super aggressive during the squeeze blitz. So far choosing aggression, which might pay off here. That was actually a brutal sequence on policy. When you get high stakes in the center following squeeze, because you are stacking generally in the center during that, it can put on a lot of pressure. But the team's going to truck through this. Keep on trucking, everybody. Ooh, another high stakes. That's brutal. Stolen DVR, definitely feeling that. Policy as well. And the bump up. What a brutal sequence. Baron keeping it together, though, for the team. If Baron can find a way to survive here, could be poised to put on some pressure, because Aiken is going in pure aggression here. No defense, which might be throwing off the team a little bit. So Baron's going to survive. Stolen DVR is trying to stall this. Oh, if Stolen can live here, that'd be huge, actually. But I don't think... Okay. Is that going to send anything? Ooh! The super fast 18. Because Stolen DVR was already... they couldn't place a piece. I think Baron literally just cleared like a few lines. But the fact that it was instantaneous means that Aiken just didn't really get a defense off at all. That was a really goofy scenario. Goofy Movie 3 material. Or 4. I don't know if they ever made a Goofy Movie 3. Okay. GG. That's what we'd like to see. All right. Do we have time for one more? We can maybe do one more game with this group, especially if somebody's only had one game. Aiken, if you want to play one more. Aiken is not in here, though. Yeah, we can do one more game with this group. Maybe Shock, if you want to hop back in, because I know you only got one game earlier. If Shock is still around. All right, let's see if Shock's available. Welcome back, Millibub. That game lived up to the word frantic. I love the chaotic games. I don't know if Shock is still around. Let's see if Shock can still get a game in here. I know they want to play one more. If Shock doesn't join, could always have Garbaggy hop in, whoever's lurking, because I think they each got the short end of the stick earlier. And then Group 3, be ready to play. So that is, I'm sorry, Group 4, be ready to play. Noriko, RB, Grasspelt, Salil on deck. Oh, there we go. We have a full group. Okay. Let's hop in here. Oh, thanks for offering, TiVo. Alrighty. Last game for this group. Still in DVR going for the speed, knowing that I guess Policy has the open well there. Yeah. Just make sure whoever has the open well. Typically, you want it. Whoever has if somebody has a clean well, you can kind of spam your pieces. But if you have the clean well, just try to be aware of that, because you can be the amplifier of your team's attacks if you have that open well. That was a really clean 17-line attack. Yeah, that's going to put Baron halfway up the board here. Baron finds that T-spin, ready to fire back. Definitely can fire back with Pisces. Gets a little bit of defense in there. So going to probably mix in defense and attacks. Yeah, that was actually really smart. Mixing in defense while the team is soft drop only is going to slow them down. You know, they're not going to be charging their attacks as quickly. So if you are keeping an eye on your opponents, if you are the boss, when they're in soft drop only mode from Area 1, that's a good time to put on the defense. Anything that limits the speed, and this goes for all of the bosses, any attacks that limit the speed of your opponents and or create a messier board for your opponent, because that will also, by the nature of a messy board, limit their speed, because they're not going to want to accept those pieces, whether it's unstable or the broken pieces, right, from Area 4, boss number 1. That's a great time to defend as the boss if you need to. Or you can try to play super aggressive if somebody's going to top out, or you think you can top somebody out, right? But generally, I would advise defending during any throttling blitzes. All right, Baron finds a little bit of combo here. Not the cleanest board for Tetrising or T-spins, but needs to be aware that, yeah, they're going to have to downstack this just to survive. But this is definitely not over. It's like Baron wants to bring this down a few lines. It's going to have to play aggressive at some point, despite how uncomfortable it's going to be up this high. Decides to send an attack there. Doesn't get the soft drop, only to proc, unfortunately. Is proc a real word? That's like a MMO word. Or a strategy game word. Like to process, right? Okay, I like how Baron's handled this. Mixing a little bit of defense, got a few attacks in there. But the team is in a much better situation. We'll see if Baron can somehow apply enough pressure here. Unfortunately, he hasn't got too many soft drop onlys during these attacks to help get Baron into a more comfortable position. There's a soft drop only. I'm going to slow down the finale, or the final charge of this zone, which is very needed. If Baron can somehow manage to top out still in DVR here, that's going to be the ticket. Finds a fractal setup, kind of the stacked T-spin doubles. Very nice. Has to go for that Tetris. Ooh. Okay. Gonna need a killer defense from Baron. And or a series of mistakes from our team. Nice fix from Baron to find that T-spin double. Yeah, Nathan's saying Baron might be cooked. That is true, but you still gotta play it out. Everyone throws in video games. That's my wisdom for you. It's never over until it's over. And Baron is doing a good job defending here. However, that was a killer attack from the team. You know, Baron wasn't that far off. So if, say, the team did mess up a little bit, I think Baron would have been in the clear. Either way, played it out like a champ. And that is GG. That's a pretty strong team, though. They had some really fast 17-18 zone attacks. Okay, so we're going to hop into our final group of the night. Group number 4, numero cuatro. Hop on in. Norrico, RB, Grasspelt, and Salil. And if you were not in this group, if you could not spectate, that would be appreciated. So that I don't have to make this lobby again. All right. That's a good slew of games from Group 3. Thank you all for playing. Ooh, Ferox. I appreciate it. The on-deck ping. Look at that. They're hopping in here. So we have Mr. FAQ, RB, Salil, and oh, I guess Kaylee and Liam were added to this group. Okay. Kaylee, what is your rating? Kaylee the deer. Let's see. Ferox is probably on it. Just to know if you should be on team or the boss. Yeah, we have more than 4 players for this group, so yeah, we'll be swapping players between rounds. So whoever wants to start, feel free to get started here. So they're deciding who should start here in Discord. T-spins are nerfed in connected versus. That is true. They are still, I think it's still optimal to mix them in, especially at the height or towards the top of your board. So you're doing like a 6-3, something like that, to make up for the soft drop speed. But yeah, generally, I would advise mostly go for Tetrises to the majority of players until you hit a certain skill. All right, so we're getting started. I didn't see what the boss was here, so we're all in for a surprise. Area 6 Shen as the boss. Never mind, I got Area 1 Pisces. Really fast first team zone here. And yeah, so this is a pretty high level lobby, meaning that first zone is almost instantaneous as the team's going to be quickly stacking for Tetris, right? We have Kaylee the Deer as our boss. We've had Kaylee on a recent showcase, I believe. Still a newer player to our showcases, so not as familiar with her playstyle. But seems to be moving along here, keeping that nice and clean Tetris well. I would totally advise stacking this way if you are a boss. Yeah, Kaylee's doing a great job so far. There we go, perfect. Oh, I think sent that Tetris actually one piece too soon, or like maybe a millisecond too soon. Had the right idea of waiting to send it. You kind of want to wait until that team attack phase is over, or else your attack kind of goes into the void of space. Either way, Kaylee's in a pretty standard position following that first team zone. Generally, you are going to want to be under halfway, about like a third or 2/5 up your board. Oh no, Kaylee overstacked on the left. I didn't see if there's a flagpole misdrop or something like that. We can run that game back though. Unfortunate. Happens to the best. But we can run that back. Yeah, let's run it back. Mellowbub with a great question. Anyone want to run some games to just practice? Yeah, if anyone in any of the previous groups wants to continue to hang out, play some games, feel free to do so in the same thread, or head to the Find Online Matches channel under the Tetris Effect category. And generally, there will be people scanning that channel for games. But yeah, when your group's done, feel free to continue playing and hanging out in a separate lobby. If someone wants to take initiative there, feel free to share a lobby code in the thread or within the Find Online Matches channel, or both. Nathan saying, I'd be careful of stacking towards the middle if you're trying to discard unwanted blocks. Trying to discard unwanted blocks. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're going to, like, trying to think if there's any cases where that is advised. But if you're high up on your board, you want to avoid stacking towards the center. As, yeah, you're going to have some extra space. You don't want to stack where your pieces are going to be spawning in. So if you're at the height of your board, or if you predict you're going to be getting towards the top of your board at some point, yeah, you want to leave that center a little more open than you would otherwise, or typically. Ooh, this is looking to be a pretty strong zone here. Got a 19. Very nice team zone. Does Kaylee have it in them? Looks like it. Hanging on here. It is Pisces, so I always hold my breath, even though this looks like a dire situation. Ooh, really nice handling so far from Kaylee. Not even defending. But does get the soft drop to enact here, so has a little bit of breathing room. Finally switching to defense here. I appreciate the aggression though. You have to be sending attacks to a team this talented, especially getting that soft drop only to kick in, or else you're going to be, the team's going to outpace you if you're defending this whole time, right? So you still have to mix in attacks at this level to get the win here. So Kaylee doing the right thing. Ooh, even mixing in T-spin. This is actually a good time to T-spin, even if it is less efficient than Tetris is, because how do I put it? Because you literally don't have the room to stack for Tetrises, right? But T-spins are only 2 rows up, so it makes sense. And that was a really fast play from the team. See if Kaylee can get a miraculous defense here. Play it out. But the team's doing an excellent job. Salil is always a dark horse because Salil doesn't really play ranked. They just play friend lobbies, but they are a very experienced Tetris player. Mr. FAQ, not always super active in ranked anymore, but plays in a lot of our tournaments and showcases, so definitely some dark horses here, and a really strong lobby. Excuse me. And Kaylee with the panicked spins, knowing the inevitable, is going to top out. GG's. Nice showing from Kaylee. That's just an OP team for sure. So nicely played, everybody. Let's try to swap in some of the other players here. If we can get Liam and or Grasspelt in the mix, that'd be appreciated. Alrighty. Yeah, Kaylee, that's the right attitude. I don't think you want to be... You can't be upset about that. That was just some really clean team play. All right, so we got Grasspelt, Liam, and Mr. FAQ on the team. I'm in the boss slot, but I'm not the boss. If someone else wants to go back on boss here. Maybe Salil or RB if you wanted to play boss, since Kaylee already was on boss. Don't be shy. Our players are too polite. I respect it. Or Grasspelt will play boss. If someone else wants to hop in that team slot. All right, Kaylee took the initiative there. Too wholesome, too humble. It's the Canadian standoff. Too polite. All right, we're gonna hop into the game. We have Grasspelt on boss. And we got Capricorn in the mix here. And Capricorn probably has one of the wider attack sets, or like the biggest range of attacks. So we have, let's see, we have Trimino, Broken, and Pentamino, right? But then you also have the area for cross-boss attacks, high stakes, no hold, no, and next, right? So there's a lot this boss can throw at you. But really the biggest one, the hardest one to deal with is Broken. Once Broken levels up, you pretty much, I think the meta is to not even stack during it, depending on the situation. If you see a sequence of broken pieces you can place, or happen to have a board that accommodates it, you can definitely place a few pieces, but you got to be really careful on overstacking during the broken phase. So oftentimes you're going to see players be like, oh, I'll just wait this out, not complicate my board even further, because that in itself is going to be a self-sabotage, an attack from the boss, and you'll be sabotaging yourself. Oh, missed PC. I didn't see that. All right, so Kaylee a little high up here. Looks like they overstacked for Tetris, and that well became inaccessible. But look at that. Very nice downstack from Kaylee. And leveling out the team zone gauge there quite quickly. So nicely played. That means Grasspelt is in a little bit of trouble. Should be able to defend this. Has some ammunition with that Tetris ready. Another Tetris ready. We'll see what kind of attack we get from this team here. I didn't catch how far down they started. But it is a strong team, so Grasspelt needs to brace for impact a little bit and try to muster out as much as possible here. Mixing in some T-spins, very nice. Meanwhile, the team getting up towards the top. Can they try to go for a kill? If you get a huge zone here, it's going to be really hard for Grasspelt to deal with. Kaylee even greeting a little bit there for a 20 or something. Oh, do we have it? Oh, we are so close to a 20. That's a huge attack, though. 19 Perfectress and Grasspelt. Oh, wait, what? I thought Grasspelt might have been able to survive a little bit with IRS. Maybe a missed rotation there. Either way, that was a dire situation from Grasspelt. And GG. But yeah, we've been having some... this is high level, so it's a tall order to play boss at the highest level against these super quick teams, right? But let's try to get one more game in here. Maybe whoever's played 2 games can sit out. I think that should level it out, right? Oh, yeah, perfect. So team Grasspelt, RB, Salil versus Liam as the boss. Good luck, have fun. When you're ready, I'm ready. Colors are messing with you. The colors as in the lack of, like the monochrome, or the mono-colored blocks, or the effects. It takes me a second personally to get acclimated to single color blocks. I use colors to piece read. It's not as bad with One Piece preview, though. Yeah, we got a 6 wide action. Is that possible? Can you set up like a... How do I put this? With a team, can you extend to past a 4 wide? I guess not. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Maybe you have giant pieces. Grasspelt actually has a 21 ready there. But it's a tall order, or that's a big ask from the teammates there. Alright. RB, nice chain of the giant pieces there. Taurus is one of my favorite bosses to play against. It can be brutal if the boss chains the attacks in a certain way, right? If you don't have the time to stack your giant pieces, and or the soft drop and the rain follow-up following the giant pieces. But I love trying to do the counterplay with giant pieces. Just giant pieces are fun in general. That was nice from RB. The patience there with the giant S piece. This time, okay, so Liam doing a really good job on boss so far. Was able to muster up quite the defense there. Excuse me. And looking to advance into a later stage of the game. The longer the game goes on, the stronger the boss is going to be, and the stronger the team attacks are going to become. So Liam should brace for maybe a stronger attack here, but looking poised to go strong into the next, go strong into the late game here. Ooh, they're fishing for another big zone here. Once again, grass pelt, 21 ready. Maybe they'll hit it this time. I think both the other players are capable. I'm not sure on their IRS prowess, but I know Salil is pretty strong in zone battle for one. Not sure on RB. All right. Some attacks sent towards the team there. Ooh, look at that nice spin setup for Salil with the giant pieces. Yeah, if you give the team room to use the giant pieces, especially a team as capable as this team, it can be scary. But Liam, once again defending, is opting to get into the later game. So even though the team is maneuvering quickly, so this is going to be a fairly strong zone, I think. If Liam has enough space at the top and can put on a really aggressive boss play following this zone, it might be problematic for the team. This is a really strong team, so yeah, we'll see how this game develops. Now, will they get that 20-plus zone? Grass Pellet has been trying to set up for something. Getting that 20 is actually quite the one-up on... it does send a much stronger attack, especially if you are stacking from the bottom against the boss. At the highest level, it almost gets to a point where, like, you have to get a 20 against certain bosses. Whether it's the... the, I don't know, Espeon Sayonara's, the Dormies, those kind of players. You gotta hit big. But Liam here has about a third of the board, 2/5 of the board to work with. And it is going to opt to play aggressive here, so kind of waiting until now to put on the big attacks, knowing that this team is going to be able to handle the weaker attacks before the boss kind of levels up. So does defend a little bit here, probably because soft drop only was up. Gets a little more room to be aggressive now. Can mix in more Tetrises without too much of an issue. All right, that's going to put up enough pressure to top out RB. Salil doing God's work, keeping this board nice and low. That rain is going to put some pressure on Grasspelt, who has a lot of long bar dependencies currently. Some giant pieces would be brutal towards grass pelt at this point. Mixing in T-spin, trying to get the revive on RB. Yeah, this is going to be lights out for grass pelt. But Salil able to... Was that a Tetris with the giant pieces? Because it actually sent something towards... must have been towards RB. So Salil looking to clutch this out, especially given Liam's aggressiveness and lack of defense. Liam's looking for the kill. And it's looking like RB is going to survive. So Salil doing a great job. Excellent use of the giant pieces there with some follow-up skims, using the long bar horizontally to clean that up. Oh man, this is some great team play. Look at that, double T-spin to get the revival in on grass pelt. Now from the bottom of their board, okay. So, Liam can still defend this. But if the team gets a massive attack here, it's going to be lights out. Yeah, this is a great game. Mac and cheesy. I am with ya. Grass pelt getting in the T-spin there. So we do have this open 5 wide. And with Magic Minos, you can kind of just throw whatever in there and eventually stack over it. But this is an immaculate board state. They might be able to fish for something extraordinary here and go for the... Oh, that's a huge attack still. 213, that's going to do it. Yeah, those late game team attacks. Salil hopefully not celebrating too hard here. Liam just soaking it in, and GG. That's a good game to end the night on there, for sure. Nicely played from everyone. I like that Liam got into the late game there, knew how to defend and get there to put on a very powerful boss attack, but Salil kind of clutched it out and made really good use of the giant pieces and T-spins to revive his teammates sooner than later. So nicely played. And with that, we're done, everybody. You know what? I'm feeling extra generous here. Let's leak the room code. There you go. But the show's over. All right. GG, everybody. That was fun. Community Showcase next week should be on. I'm trying to think if we wouldn't have it next week. And it should be Zone Battle, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check on that. Actually, no, we're due for Classic Score Tech. It's Classic Score Tech time. It should be on next week. 90% certain. I'm trying to think if there's any reason we wouldn't. There has been talks of doing a Luminous community hangout, but we might just do that as a Saturday voice hangout or something like that. I thought about doing that this weekend, but it is the holiday weekend for a lot of people, so yeah, be on the lookout for that, for if there are any cross Luminous fans out there. It's been a while since we've done a monthly hangout for that, but yeah, so tomorrow is the full moon. Feel free to hang out in the Discord at discord.gg/enhance to play some games with the greater community. It'll be a good time. I'll try to hop in if I'm available, but yeah, I think that's it from me. Trying to think if I have anything else to say. Not really. So thank you all for tuning in here on Twitch. I might try to find somebody to raid, and I'm going to turn off the YouTube. Bye, YouTube. See you in the future if you're watching the VOD. And if you're hanging out here on Twitch, find somebody to raid.